Yeah, we didn't realize people were losers and went to bed at 12:30.
Sleep is for the weak.
Come join
I may not recognize you right now, but
Yeah, I do recognize you.
Yeah.
Hey. I'm an informant. I'll recognize you in any form.
The group.
Why are you isolated, man?
group.
That is not Russia right there. You can just.
She's over here.
I'm just gonna skedaddle over here then. I guess.
Yes. Yay.
Were you trying to be
Why is
Gaza and in like a separate plane of reality from the rest of us?
People who hate you.
Wow.
Okay, welcome! First of all, thanks for coming to our first 18 plus drama panel. Yay! Do you guys like season 2 so far?
Yes.
Do you like our array of season 2 characters and season 1 characters? Yes. Good, great. Okay, this is going to be a discussion panel. I would assume you are all mature enough to have discussions with us, and they can be shipping questions, blah, blah, blah. I'll get into this. But first, we need to lay some ground rules so you all know. Okay. There might be trigger-worthy topics in here because of the series itself, i.e. Namie Seiji, so there's going to be incest, there might be violence and gang fights and yarn, you know. So, just so you know, but we're not going to, do things like, do extra things like amputation or influence rape culture, because we don't know anyone's experience, so we're not going to go that far. But anything within the show is fair game. The cosplayers have right to refuse questions, as you have the right to ask questions. So please respect that. Different cosplayers have different preferences, and they may answer your questions and they may not. Just drink more coffee.
Hi.
Hi.
It's like an indirect kiss. That's okay, right?
Did she drink it first?
So no, it's not.
Well, now it is.
No, it is. Okay.
Okay, there you go. It's all good now.
Like I said, this is a discussion-based panel, so if you don't discuss, we can't run a panel, so please ask questions. You are free to engage with characters or us as cosplayers. We will answer both questions to the best of our ability. This is not a fan service panel, so we're not going to be getting up and making out with people. So, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm out.
Namie.
We don't have a stage.
Find the corner.
I know.
Let's do it.
So we're not discouraging Shizuo and Izaya questions, but please remember that there are an array of cast members up here to also answer your questions.
to everyone.
Thank you.
Don't sit so far.
It's just Walker.
It's just Walker. Wow, I didn't say it. Someone over there did.
I'm
Wasn't me.
offended.
All right, so I guess we can start introducing ourselves. We'll start with Walker.
Oh, should I say my name and...
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I am Rai and I'm cosplaying Walker.
I'm Vinnie and I'm cosplaying Erika. I'm Karrissarella and I'm cosplaying Mairu.
I don't know, I guess I can use my con name, Kidacake, cosplaying Aoba, which is kind of funny because they're rival gangs. Yay!
I'm Becca and I'm cosplaying Kururi.
You got your own mic. There is an
Get your own mic.
You get your own mic.
My own mic.
Have your own hot pot party.
Who are you? We just don't
That
know.
one doesn't
That
work.
one doesn't work.
Why?
Don't.
Because
Alright, so, moving on. I'm Pyroh, and I'm cosplaying Izaya, and I demand an applause.
please do not play that. You don't.
Well, I
Everybody
didn't
don't
get
piss
one.
off his eye.
Why didn't anyone?
Why didn't I get one? Thank you, Eka.
You have to ask for it. I'm Tori, and I'm cosplaying Shizuo, and this guy's an asshole.
I'm Courtney, I'm cosplaying Namie.
Goodbye.
Take it
Hey, it's blue. Gimme.
You triggered my trap.
I'm Mika and I'm cosplaying Mika.
It all fits together so well.
I don't want to give you that sometimes.
Give me the power.
Alright, you starting this, Izaya? No. I figured I would be nice and let you shine because, you get so much popularity. People always come to your hot pots.
They came to my hot pot.
I'll have a hot pot.
I don't see no hot pot here.
I didn't say there's a hot pot here right now. I'm just saying, these are my new friends.
Did y'all go to his hot pot?
How much did he pay you?
Yeah, how much did he pay you to come?
We
never discussed payments. That was just, you know.
Okay, so is there anything we'd like to discuss? Anime, novels. We're actually the twins.
We've figured that out.
Come in. Welcome.
Get in here.
Wow, rude. Get in here.
I got a question for you guys.
Okay. Do it.
How is this happening right now? How are they sitting in the same area?
I was bothered by it as well. I don't know.
Do we need to switch places?
Please.
What Izaya really means is.
Killing each other right now.
I was like, if I switch places, do you
With
mean
your hands down.
he
No.
gets on his lap?
What Izaya really means is, I need a Namie next to me.
I need my secretary.
My sex secretary.
Excuse me?
She organizes my files very well.
Filing, okay.
I'm good at filing.
But,
This
like,
is real 18 plus.
What are you talking about?
Okay, how are you guys sexualizing files right now? Are you kidding me? Really?
Well, what could those files possibly
What do these files contain, Namie?
You never know. Sherlock might put it that way.
What do these files
Not sure on
contain?
you? I'm kidding. I'm not that rude, I promise.
Izaya could contain anything.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably
What?
the way
What?
they do certainly.
We get straight to BDS. 50 Shades of Izaya.
50 Shades. We are stopping that conversation right there. Now me out. What? Okay.
Yes.
So, I'm just curious, like with the show, I clearly haven't done my homework on it that well, but is it like Monogatari and FLCL where it incorporates a lot of traditional Japanese sort of mythology and storytelling? Like, there's some deeper stuff than just on the surface, like with Saika and things like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of Norse mythology with Celti and, well, excuse me.
No, Celtic and Norse.
Yeah.
It's all Nordic.
Someone didn't do their homework.
What are some of the elements that are uniquely like Japanese as far as the way they tell the story? Not necessarily mythology like Psycho, but the way that they tell the story. Like I know there's elements and like FLCL, for example, that you would never get a show like that in America or in England or in other parts of Europe or anywhere else. But only in Japan could you get a story told like that. And Dura kind of feels like it has the same vibe. Like only in Japan could you get that.
Well, for one, it involves other cultures.
Yeah.
You cannot see that in America.
Wait. Asian. Wait. Same exact plot line. Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe you're gay. Maybe.
You're definitely not bisexual. Those don't exist.
There's no possible way that could be bisexuality. That is straight homo.
Because they don't
Going back to the question, however,
I'm not.
I feel like the way the main character Mikado kind of gets introduced, especially in like the first season. I know the first few episodes, it's really about him like getting out on his own. So you kind of see this side. He's not living with his parents. He's going to high school. It's very different than, of course, what goes on here. Where you live with your parents, so you possibly, you know, you get kicked out. Eventually, it happens. Living in mom's basement at 40, bad idea. But so you see him getting out and everything like that, and I think that's a very foreign concept to a lot of people that aren't involved in the heavy Japanese culture. So I feel like that's a good element that's very Japanese about it. I like the blend of the, you know, like I said, the mythology, along with this like simple high school kid, along with this like gang related plot, along with this like this crazy bitch. Pretty much this crazy bitch right here. but you know,
Crazy, I'm perfectly sane.
just crazy bitch. So that's my two
I
I don't know, but it's the man who has a head on his.
I don't know, but it's
Right.
true.
You just want
And sometimes,
There's another one on this one.
something
It was for true
about
love.
the story that I do find interesting, that I do kind of find to be Japanese culture, is often how they approach stories, like especially when it comes to horror, and I'm kind of tying it in because of mythology stuff. Where they approach like horror stories is they always like started out where it seems like the ghost or whatever phenomenon is happening is the fault, when really it's actually the fault of humans. And what the story has is like you see like this innocent, very innocent Mikado, and then you find out, oh shit, this boy is deranged, and he's actually enjoying all this crazy shit that's going down. So I like how they write the characters where they're not really like exactly how they seem, or you know, they're not flatline like that. So where there is a lot of error with the humans. Whereas
Duality.
Celty, she's awesome.
Yeah. How Celty is more human than monster.
Yeah,
all the monster characters are way more human. All the human characters have more monster qualities in them.
Exactly.
Good question.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Continue. We need more volunteers. Or the same person can ask a different question.
How often do you all visit Russia?
It's my favorite spot.
Those are all
Yeah, very often.
It's good, we
Well,
just
I-
opened new
Good
cans.
stuff.
They didn't introduce me. We got captured.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, we did all get captured together. We passed Russia's issue. We do have a Russian friend. We have a Russian friend. We will go to Russian sushi and have Russian sushi with him. Yeah.
Okay, that's getting a little creepy over there.
Come join the group.
Oh, wait, is the newest
Oh,
episode out yet?
We're just observing.
I'm trying to think of a question right now.
Oh, okay.
Love that. We love questions.
As for all the from season 1 or 2, what is your favorite episode 1?
Oh god.
Alright, I'll go first because I am the most obsessed here. So mine is episode 18, which goes into Masami's past. And I just really like Masami. Second, I like that we finally got to see what was going on with him and how like deep like his depression actually was, and like his problems and everything. So I liked that we got to see that in season 1, whereas in season 2, he's off working for Izaya, so we don't get to see him as much. But yes, everyone else favorite episode.
I can't get the thing.
Work for it, Walker.
I work enough.
You gotta work it.
Words from Namie.
I don't really have a specific episode, so I'm just gonna say any episode with Walker and Erika. Any scene with Walker and Erika. I got so happy when season 2 started, and it was like every episode they got a scene. Like, these two can attest to it. I was like grinning ear to ear and crying.
Crying.
Literal tears.
Any scene with Erika?
What is that?
Totals about
Oh, wait, hold
5
on.
minutes.
He's not in this episode right now.
I said my line. I said my line. I'm done. Okay.
Screenshot.
I don't know. I really love the entire series, so I can't really pick a thing, but I am looking forward to the episode where this happens. I don't know how many of you know what this is, but it's an amazing scene.
It's up leading to the results of
disturbing
Mikado and
It's
Aoba.
it's really disturbing, but
It
it's
was
amazing.
It's great.
So you had a bad day.
I've just really been enjoying all of the scenes with the twins because when I was like reading the light novels and then actually getting to see them animated, it's just perfect.
She pepper sprayed me.
I think she has a
Izaya
microphone.
has his own microphone.
Okay, I have my own microphone.
Oh, you do have your own.
I just forget this. I
Is
know,
that all
right?
the mics?
Just give me all the power. I think the part of the series that actually caught my interest to continue watching is when Izaya was introduced. Hey, Ariel. when Izaya was introduced, I was like, oh yeah, this show's pretty interesting, because the first 2 episodes of the first season was kind of like forum stuff, introducing characters, and I'm just like, alright, well, when are things gonna get interesting? And then things got interesting when, like, this guy got freaking hit by a trash can, and I'm like, oh.
There it is.
First of all, I want to cosplay him. Second of all, things are interesting. Now there's action heating up versus rivalry. I got actually emotionally invested when it came to, I think it was episode 7, where it was Shizuo's backstory, and I was just like, oh god, this poor baby. So many feelings in a not gay way. But that was like just really, I love the characters who are like really sweet, but then like everyone just kind of gets the wrong idea about them. I identify with that, except I'm not really sweet.
Anyways.
There's a lot of good scenes in Dur. I'm sorry, there just are. I would say I really got into the series when Mikado calls on the dollars. They're all their invisible people, and that whole big gang gathering thing happens.
To take you down?
Yeah.
You know what? I don't want to hear that from Sass from the audience. All right?
We don't want to hear the
Do not Sass, because I'll Sass right
I
back.
gave you a job this week.
Proud of you. Real proud. Okay. So, anyway, I just like that, seeing that camaraderie, that coming together. That's, I'm a sucker for that stuff. So, that backstory scene is beautiful, and episode 18 is beautiful, and no.
You were in episode 18, if that makes you feel better.
I was.
You were being an asshole, but I mean.
Being a
He always is.
Let's see here. I think when I started really getting into the show was when Shizuo punched a guy out of clothes.
That was hilarious.
That was
And I instantly fell in love with his character. But then I fell more in love with the character in his backstory episode, because you see that Shizuo actually kind of hates himself. And then it progresses into season 2, where he actually starts to show some restraint and not just tearing things apart and ripping open things and throwing things. So, but I don't want to give too much away of that. So, and there's other people that kind of help him along the way that come in season 2. So you'll just have to wait and see.
I was really into the show from the very beginning, just because it was different. But what really, I loved all of season 1. It was amazing and confusing. But I think my favorite episode so far has to have been the actual first episode of season 2. Like, just seeing all these new characters and seeing the culmination of the first season, how the relationships have entirely changed, and how even Ikebukuro has changed was really neat, and the continuation was, the continuity was really cool. So, yeah, season 2. Woo!
Did you have a question?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I was just like, I got tired of them.
Yeah, no. I remember.
Well, I'm a really big fan of Bakno, more so than Durarara. So how about your favorite Bakno character? And why?
Wait. You gotta wait? Alright.
I don't remember the names.
So you're wrong.
This is
I
Pyroh.
remember.
Yeah. Pyroh. Yeah.
Pyroh. Okay. Hers is Pyroh.
Yeah,
You ladder it though.
But
Mine?
there's a second part to the question.
I said why, but
Oh my god.
why, Pyroh?
Because he reminded me of an older Kita, honestly. I saw his character design, and I was like, who is this? Why does he look like an older Kita? And I need to watch this. And then I found out, like, the general plot line, and was forced to sit down and watch it. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? What is going on? And I still don't know what was going on, but Pyroh was cool as shit, so
That's
there's
a
that.
series that you have to watch like 10 times
Yeah.
and focus on
Yeah.
one character each time.
Yeah.
I actually haven't watched it, but he's the reason why I met one of my closest friends, so that's why. That's the reason.
Okay, so mine, I have this weird relationship with like falling in love with characters, because I'll fall in love with one and then meet a new one and get really in love and meet a new one and get really in love. So it started with Isaac and Maria because they reminded me of like a really lame Team Rocket. And then I got to Ches, and I was like, wow, he's kind of a dickwad. And then I was like, oh, but Precious Baby because of the past. And then it got to Lad and Lua, and I think Lad and Lua's relationships, like their fucked up love story, is what like brought me in. I feel like Lua is my absolute favorite now, just because their love story. Pretty dress. I like dresses.
I'm also going to have to go with Pyroh because, again, he's like Kita, but also he has like this past, and I just have like a thing for gang members apparently. Obviously, I cosplay Kita, I cosplay Aoba, I cosplay Pyroh. I have.
What's going on?
I have a thing for gang members apparently. I do live in Detroit.
Thing going on.
I have a problem. I also like his outfit. So yeah.
It's fucking Bucko. Calm down. I did this and she's like,
Alright, so mine is Lad Rousseau. Not only because I cosplay him, but he is. There's no words to describe how much I love that man.
Are you going to be okay?
I am going to be fine. But just the instant he got excited about the gunshots on the train, just that whole part where he's like, oh, there's stuff going on I want to see. And it's like, oh, you're crazy and I love you.
Alright, go.
I similarly had a sort of relationship with one character, then moved on to another, and it started with I really liked Luck because what actually got me into this series was not only, okay, there's Mafia in it, 'cause I love Mafia stories, but his voice actor is one of my absolute favorite voice actors. Good night, Simon. His voice actor is actually one of my favorite voice actors. And so I fell in love with this character immediately. Then I'm kind of like, I mean, he's cool and all, but Lad. And I'm like, you know, for all the same reasons that you like Lad, that I really fell in love with this character. And then something clicked, and I really freaking love the Rail Tracer because I ultimately decided to cosplay as him, and I love cosplaying as him. I love freaking everyone out. Like that one scene where he just whispers, "Your ticket, please." I was like, I love him because I'm like a creep like that.
The chess cosplayer inside me scares. She scares me.
I love hiding those fingers. It's great. And also, I really love trains. Like, I love trains. My favorite form of transportation. So I kind of share that link where I would totally just live on a train if I could. Continuing on.
By the way, I do cosplay Chane. Ooh. Yeah.
gotta wipe his face.
I'll leave you a message here, and if you find it, come find me.
Please don't write on the table.
Listen to your wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paper and leave your message there on the piece of paper. You can't find it on the table.
Well, you're bleeding, so I'll just
Write it with a blood.
Admittedly, I have not watched it yet. It's on my list of things, my ever-growing list of things to watch. So I'm gonna pass Mika.
So at first it kind of started out me liking Isaac, just because he is like this huge goofball and he's a lot of fun. And then Lad came along. And I think it's just because I have a thing for violent characters. I like to throw big things or stab people, or I don't know what it is, but I really like Lad. I haven't watched it, so.
Everyone else agrees with her. It's just that everybody else about the
Hit me up. We should cosplay together.
Yes! Come find us on Colors Productions.
Or you
just
can just
Google it.
Email the panel director, who is me.
My wife is a panel director!
Yes, I tried cosplaying in character as a panel director, and then I realized, shit, I really do have to talk.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Alright,
Okay.
awesome.
like a secret agent. Oh my god. That was scary. Okay.
Agent Rika Takanashi.
Yeah, like all the time. Basically, we see each other and we just know. We know it's time to practice.
It's time to fight.
I mean,
Parkour.
Now the question is,
Parkour.
Izaya, do you yell parkour whenever you go around doing your stuff?
Parkour! I do like the attention.
We should do like Boost Road down.
Yeah, alright. I'm gonna join a volleyball team. Or let's sign up. I have to go back to high school. I got invited to a team. No one ever invites me to a team.
That's because no one will even invite you to a hot pot.
But I could be on a team.
They still wouldn't invite you to a hot pot.
They might.
They'd be like, you just told
I
me
wouldn't
to
be
do
a
it at
bench
a
warmer if
game.
I'm being invited, so there's that.
You don't know that.
Guess who gets to be a regular?
Or you could just be
Wow,
the last
you
person
fucking
they
went
need.
there.
I went
So-
there.
Fucking
I
went
went there.
That's
I
fighting
knew it would
words.
shut you up.
No, you started a war.
He has started many good wars.
Bring it on.
You too. No, they're like angry tears in my eyes.
I see the tears. Well.
God, don't even get me started.
No. Apparently, Izaya and Walker are now
Just this, wow,
Yeah.
it's 1:30 a.m. Yes, Walker and Izaya, who are both in a colorless gang, are in a war.
Yeah,
I'll win.
My
You're
faction
just gonna throw your manga at me.
I got
I don't
friends,
think
what you got.
the dollars have factions.
Got Namie. She can give you the
Are you
most.
his friend?
She'll give you the most severe paper cut ever. I know.
I'm
I know.
I'll use that cardstock shit. That shit doesn't heal.
I have
It
Erika.
doesn't heal.
I'm not very intimidated.
Please don't throw books at me.
No,
Books.
Actually, I'm pretty
Whatever.
intolerant to books hitting me after like Namie slaps me around with books sometimes.
Yeah.
Not the trash cans
Are
or
you
vending
into that?
machines that
Is
get
that
thrown at you.
what's going on?
There's been times
I'm
when
not
he's trying to catch me off
detailing.
guard and
No,
go
you're
hide
not
in the
getting
trash
the
can.
books.
I'll just hide in the trash can.
You just pick up the trash can.
Just be thrown in the trash can.
Just dive in
And
there.
heals
Yeah.
Really, I
He's like
guess.
a meme.
Izaya will be in that.
Flies away in the trash can. Parkour!
Into the sunset.
Throwing Izaya falls out.
Parkour!
Izaya, when did you change your address?
Wow.
Because he lives in the trash can. I get it. Ah.
See, that's what that movie
I have-
notification was. He moved to the trash can.
I'm not living in a trash
That
can.
was-
You better get your flat back real quick.
I will.
Real quick.
I like the internet cafe that I
Where you
live in.
belong.
Excuse me?
Okay, we have 1 minute. Is there a last minute question?
Oh, I
We can have story time. So last year I went to Japan, and the first night that I was in Japan, not only did I go to Ikebukuro, I slept in an internet cafe just because of Izaya. That is my hardcore dedication right there. I wandered the streets going, I don't remember this in the anime. Because it was nighttime. But it was very interesting, and I was like, oh, there's an internet cafe, we're going to sleep there, right? And my friend's like, yeah. It was great. I felt very Izaya, and I like, there's like showers there, and there's all kinds of stuff, and they have community soaps, and I couldn't use it, because I was like, what if? 'Cause they get private time. They get private time there, and I'm just like, it's Japan, they're really clean, but that shampoo is this liquidy, milky stuff, and I'm just like, I'm not using it. So that's my story time. I went to Ikebukuro and I slept in an internet cafe because Izaya. Yay!
Sure,
The I am a giant nerd.
The end.
Biggest weeb in the room.
Biggest
Okay.
weeb right here.
Okay.
I certainly have experience in trapping people.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, thank you for attending our panel before Mika goes around stabbing things.
She lost
her life, thank God.
We have a million panels tomorrow.
We
One's
do.
That's the
Tokyo
Tokyo
Ghoul,
Ghoul panel at
At
5 o'clock in
5
panel room 4.
and then the other one's
I can fan
Orin.
Excuse me, this is
So-
my time to shine.
Okay.
Please come to the Oran panel. It's going to be Commodore Game Night, which will be an extravaganza of board games and fun. And you can sit with your favorite host and play games. So if you're not there, I'm finding you all and giving you those cards.
I will remember all of your faces.
Find all of you with card stuff. Be like, where were you? Where were you?
Where were you?
I feel like cardboard paper.
Simon is not
That's
over
You
here.
might be right on that.